Alrighty, we'll go ahead and start with the homework questions that were sent to me in the last few days. What do you call it? Yeah, there we go. We got to do that. I will. So the first one, we'll just put them in order by section or whatever. That's 5.6. That would be 11.1, 11.1, 5.1, 5.3. I wonder if this would do it. So, well, let's put it in some kind of order. There we go. All right, first one is 5.1, 37 in the book, number 13 online. So 5.1, 37 in the book, 13 online. 5.1, 37 in the book, 13 online. Anybody want to know why I said it 3 times? As soon as I pull it up. What number is that? All right, prime factorization of 1287. I don't know. 142. $12.87. Two, 3, 5, 7, 11, and sometimes 13. So I know that 3 will go into 27, so I'm going to try 3. Now, where did 27 come from? There's not even 27 on it. But it ends in what? 7. The only number I can think of that ends in 7 is multiplication tables is 27. There's another one, let me know. But that's what I come up with. So I'm going to put a 3 in there. 3 will go into 12 how many times? 4 times. Leave 0 remainder. 3 will go into 8 how many times? 2 times. That'll leave a 2 remainder, and there's that 27. And 3 will go into 27 what? 9. I'm sorry. 3 is right here. Now, what number will go into 9? 3, so I'm going to go with 3 again. So 3. 3 will go into 4 how many times? 1 time. That leaves 1 remainder. Put it with that 2, and that's 12, and 3 will go into 12 how many times? 4 times, 0 remainder. 3 will go into 9, 3 times. I don't know about 143. Looks awful prime to me, but we'll try 11 and 13 because that's the only numbers I can think of. Well, 7 will go into 14 twice, but it won't go into 3. 5 won't go into it. 3 will go in there and leave 23. 23 is prime. 2 won't go into 143, so 2 won't go into it. 7 won't go into it. 5 will definitely not go into it. So that leaves, and we said 3 won't go into it because it leaves us 23. So that won't go into it. So that's about the only two, unless you got a bigger number that will go into it. 11 will go into 14. How many times? One time, that'll leave a 33, so 11. 11 will go in there one time, and that'll leave 30, 33, 3 times. And then, what number will go into 13? And there is your prime factorization of 1287. That is a test question, so you will see it. Not the actual number 1287, but the type problem. I usually put 1 or 2 of those on the test. So you would type it in as 3 to the what? 3 to the second power. And my keyboard's not working. 3 to the second power times shift 8, 11, shift 8, 13. And we feel good about ourselves. Question. Right, complaint. All right, next homework question. Uh, 5.153/14. 5.153 in the book, number 14 online. All right, our greatest common divisor and least common multiple, 165 and 297.
I don't know. I thought I saw it fall, but then I hit it. It actually hit it.
Did you take your medication?
I don't know, but I might need to start.
165 and 297. Yes, ma'am. Okay, let me blow it up a little bit. Get Vanna to blow it up. How's that? Bring it back down and get ready to exercise. I'll get ready to write. Two, 3, 5, 7, 11, sometimes 13. Now what number will go into something with a 5 and something with a 7? Well, 7 maybe. 9. 9 goes, 3. 3 will go into 45 and 27. So I'd start with a 3 maybe. Yeah, just keep mad and leave. All right, bring it down. Put the minus symbol going. There you go. All right. So two, 3, 5, 7, 11, and sometimes 13. I'm going to go with the 3. Now you can learn your divisibility rules, or you can just look at that 5 and that 7 and say, well, 3 will go into 15 and 3 will go into 27, so let's try it. 3 will go into 16, how many times? 5 times, that leaves 1 remainder, 1 and 5, so 55. 3 will go into 29, 9 times, that'll leave 27, well look at there, ain't that nice? So, we got double-digit numbers, and what's the only number that will go into double-digit numbers? 11. And I'll leave a 5 and a 9. At this point, what? Real math stops. And real math stops means that you have your greatest common divisor. So our greatest common divisor is 3 times 11 is what? 33. That is the biggest number that will go into what? 165 and 297. So let's keep going. Divide by 5. And that's 1. And that comes down. Divide by 3. That comes down. That's a 3. Divide by 3. That comes down. 1 and 1. We have our 1s. When you have your 1s on the bottom, you have your least what? Common multiple. How many 3s do we have? 3 to the third times 5 times 11. 3 to the third times 5 times 11. Well, 5 times 11 I'm going to multiply together because that's 55 and that's an easy multiplication. So, I mean, there's no other way to get around it. Possibly, you could do the 27 times 5 because 25 times 5 is $1.25, right? And then you add 10 to that, that would be $1.35. So you could do 27 times 5 and get 135. So that's a possibility. And then 135 times 10 is 1350, plus 35 is 1385. So what do you come up with? Or 1485. So you could do it either way. But that's equal to 1485. And that is our least common multiple. That is the smallest number that what? That 165 and 297 will go into. And that's the correct answer. That is a test question. What if you come up to one that may not be on the test? Well, I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't use that as a test question. Usually I pick practical application, something that's, and this is practical app because I could easily make a problem on the test. I could easily do one of these on the test. And you would have to use the least common multiple as the greatest what? As the common what? Denominator. Comprende? Alright, next one. (5.155/15). All right, and then 3 numbers. Vanna, could you blow it up and then put it in the middle? Thank you. 875, 4375, and 78,125. A couple more times to blow it up because those numbers, and then bring it down. Thank you, ma'am. Find your least common multiple and your greatest common divisor, or whatever it's called. Greatest common divisor and least common multiple. And yes, this is a test question. So you're going to put 2 on there with your least something? Yeah. One with 2 numbers and one with 3. Remember, my job is to get you discouraged and get you to quit. That's my job. That's what I'm trying to do. $875, $43.75, and $78,125. I'm sorry. I'll show up. Good. That's a good thing. Then take your time. I'd rather you take your time and use your brain than not know what you're doing and use your calculator. Bring it down, please. All right, so 875. Break it down some more, Vanna. Now you see why I give it to y'all, because it's pain in the rear. 875. $43.75 and $78,125. Now what's the given? 5. Good. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, sometimes 13. So 5 will go into 8 one time. That'll leave 37. How many times will 5 go into 37? 7 times, and that'll leave a 2. So how many times will 5 go into 25? 5. Good job. 5 will go into 43. How many times? 8 times, and that's going to come out to be 875, isn't it? 5 will go into 7 one time. That'll leave 28. How many times will 5 go into 28? 5 times. That'll leave 31, which is 6. That'll leave 12, which is 2, and 5, which is 15,625. So it looks like we can do 5 again. 5 will go into 175. Well, 5 will go into 17 3 times, and 5. Please tell me you didn't multiply this again, because there it is, 175. And then 5 will go into 15 3 times, leave no remainder. 5 will go into 6 one time, leave 1 remainder. That's 12, 2, and 5. Y'all check me. 5 again. 7. 5 will go into 175 35 times. And we don't have a 31 25, so 5 will go into 31, that's 6 times. Leave 12, 2, and 5. And I think the real math stops because it's 625. Well, 7 will go into these 2. But I don't think 7 will go into that. No. So I think the real math stops here. And the real math stops. 5 to the third power is what? 125. So that's your greatest common divisor. Now what am I going to divide by? I divide by 7. 7, that'll be a 1 and a 5. And what does this do? It comes down, Hubert. That's right, 5. Now what will go into 5 and 625? 5, Hubert. That's right, 5. 1, 1, and 625. I mean, we didn't do 625. Okay. 5 would be 125, would it? And then 125 is 5 to the what? Third power? So you can put 5 to the third power and save some space. These two come down because 5 to the third power will not go into 1, so you're done. How many 5s we got? 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a BA number. 5 to the 7th times 7. Get your calculators out and do it. So I ain't going to try it. So that's a BA number. Probably what's up there. I don't know if that's it or not. 5 to the 7th power times 7. What do you get? Okay, let's type it in. $500 and what? 70? 75. Is that it? Dang old fantastic. And we feel good about ourselves. So we don't wear sunglasses inside. Next one. 5.359/15. 5.3 59 15. 5.3 59 15. Okay, this is not a test question, but I will show you how to do it. Go ahead and write it down, Vanna. Blow it up a little bit. It's 3.06, and the 6 is repeating. Now, the first thing I would do if I was you is set it up to say n is equal, or x, I don't care, n or x or whatever you want. X is equal to 3.06. Do that. N is equal to 3.06. Now, unless you've done something like this before, you're not going to know how to do this problem. All right? I don't spend a lot of time on them because I don't think I've ever seen a problem like this in real life. So I'm not going to. But there's some standardized tests that might have, you know, Vanna, break it down a little bit so where I can draw on it. There we go. And that'll be n is equal to 3.06 repeating. Now what is repeating? The 6. Not the 06, but the 6. Everybody with me? So I'm going to multiply both sides by 100. Because technically what is happening with that 3066 blah blah blah. That 666 is what? It's repeating. And sure, that 06 is supposed to be repeating. Let's multiply by 10. Multiply by 10 to work out better. Move the decimal one place, everywhere. 30.6 repeating. Still not going to work. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get the 6 to cancel out. The repeating 6s is you're trying to get the, yeah, okay, that, no, it's not going to work. It should work. And then you subtract minus n is equal to 3.06 repeating. What's supposed to happen is the 6s, those 6s are supposed to cancel. And that's not going to work. You can't cancel these two right here because of that 0. I'm used to seeing the 3 point, this is what I'm used to seeing right here, 3.06 like that. So we've got to figure out how to get this 6 to cancel out with this 6 right here. Oh, that's not going to work. Now, if I multiply by 100, I could multiply, that's what we'll do. We'll multiply, and let's see what happens. We'll multiply this one by 10. That'll give us 10n is equal to 30.6. And then multiply it by 100n, take the second one, n is equal to 3.06, and multiply by 100, that would be 100n is equal to 306 point what? 6 repeating. Now subtract the 2, minus 10n, 30.6 repeating, and what happens to 90 minus 10 is what? Or 100 minus 10 is what? 90. And then what happens to the repeaters? That goes out, and what's 306 minus 30? 2 what? 64? Might help me out there. No, that wouldn't be right. That would be 306 minus 30 would be 270. Right? Somebody do the math for me. No. Thank you. I can't subtract very well. 276, and now divide. And n is equal to, and this reduces, I'll say 2, I know 3 will go into this. 3 will go into that, what, 92 over 30? They want a fraction? Yeah. That reduced down any 3, 4. 4 will go in, no, the 4 won't go into 30. 5, 6, I think that's it, 92 over 30. Now that is a form of 3.06. Somebody take 92 over 30 and put it in your calculator, see what you get. See if you don't get 3.06666666. So that should be your answer. Now you see why I don't put them on there? Because I don't think it's very needed. Divided by 30. Well, we got the answer. What do they get? 46 over 15. They divided by 2. Okay, 46. Yeah, 46 and 46 will give you 92. I'm sorry. They divided by 2 on top and the bottom. Now, what if you had 3.06? Well, you'd multiply by 100. You'd say n is equal to 3.06. Actually, it's easier when it's like this. So let's do one like this. Unless somebody sent us one. Let's just rewrite this. And let's do 7.06. 7.06. And not just the 6 is repeating, but what? Now, when it's written like this, it's pretty easy. You multiply by 100. And when you do that, it makes everything simple, and you just subtract it out and divide. So hurry up. Blow it up. Oh, you don't have to blow this one up, can you? Multiply, well, first set it equal to x. Multiply both by 100. And subtract the x equation. Then you get 99x is equal to, what happens to the repeaters? They go out, and what's 706 minus 7? They go 699. And x is equal to whatever that reduces down. 3 will go into here, what? 233? 233 over 33. And then maybe, I don't know, 11, maybe, I don't know. Just keep reducing it down. I know 11 and 3 will go into 33, but 11 will go into, that'd be 22. I think that's going to be your answer. Unless it's like 11 and 3 is the only numbers that will go into those two. And 3 won't go into 233 because 21 will give you 23, and that's not gonna help you. So that may be your answer. Unless 9, no, not 9, 7. No, 7 won't go into 33. So that's it. This is more of a trick than it is something practical out. I hope that helps on that one. 5.6. 5.6 is going to have a lot of test questions coming out of 5.6. And usually the word problems. So 5.6, 65/24. 65/24. Blow it up a little bit for us, Vanna, please. I'm surprised somebody hadn't said, who's Vanna? Huh? Yeah. I do that with whoever. I just call them Vanna. Just to confuse people. We didn't even do that. .6, 65/24. So 7 times 2 is what? 14, right? And what's half of 7? 3.5, Hubert. So 14 and 3.5 is what? 17.5? So you should get 17.5 times 10 to the something. And then you got to ask yourself, is that the final answer? Oh my, I just noticed this. These cinnamon buns are in a heart shape.
From the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, during football season or football.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's the only thing I get from the game.
Oh, these are blueberries. I didn't know that either. I thought it was raisins. You know, cinnamon and raisin. That's what goes in cinnamon and raisin. Okay, they go together. Okay, cinnamon and blueberry. Y'all drunk. I don't care too much for them. I thought these were raisins. Hmm?
That's a lot of raisins.
Why?
Why? I don't put that much raisins.
Whatever. Do you think you've made enough noise? All right, bring it down. So, 2 times 7 is 14. And half of 7 is 3.5, so that should be 17.5. Y'all check my math. And what do we do to the 2 exponents? You add them because it's the same base, and what are we doing? Multiplying. And you owe $7. You have $5. What's the outcome? Now, it says type the answer as what? An integer, which means the whole number, or a what? Decimal. So do I need to worry about scientific notation here? No. You just need to move, it says right here, move the decimal how many places? So your answer is what?
strange.
And now we check the answers so we can feel good about ourselves. And we do. Possible test question. If I was to put these on a test, it'd be one of each. A division and a multiplication, and the rest of them would be word problems. So if you want to study for the test, make sure you do all the word problems that's in your homework for 5.6. Because that's where I'm going to pull a lot of questions from. That's 5.6. So now we go from 5.6, we jump up to 11. 11.1, 33/17. 11.1, 33/17. The elements that compose, you can close this up a little bit, Vanna. The elements that compose seawater, please, along with corresponding percents are shown in the table. Blah, 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 blah. Oxygen is 85.84. Hydrogen is 10.82, blah, blah, blah. If a sample of seawater contains 43 milliliters, in other words, you got a scooper that holds 43 milliliters, and 45 milliliters, you scoop it, fill it to the top, you have 45 of seawater, 45 milliliters. How many milliliters of hydrogen are in the sample? In other words, how much of that seawater that in that 45 milliliter container that you scooped in the ocean, how much of it is hydrogen? So that's what they're asking. How many milliliters? Well, what is hydrogen? 10 point what? Okay, so we got some people in here that can read. Good. Hydrogen, 10.82. So 10.82% of 45 is what? So you make a sentence problem out of it. 10.82% of 45 is what number? Now remember, what does percent mean? What does the word percent mean? This was just Monday. Okay, like a day ago, Monday. Divide by 100. Good. So that means move the decimal 2 places to the what? Left, Hubert. That's right, class. So 0.1082 times 45. So, 0.1082, and then multiply it by 45. So take your handy dandy, I'll write it out for you. 0.1, well, let's write it in black, so just a little further, you can see it. 0.1082. 2. Writing with the mouse is very tedious. Multiplied by 45. What's 10% of 45? 4.5, and then 1% of 45 is 0.45. So I'd be willing to bet you that it's going to be around 4.95. What'd you get? I said 4.95. So I wasn't off by much doing it in my head. What did I do? Where did 11% come from? I rounded this up to 0.11 in my head, and then I took 10% and I added 1% to it, and that's how I got whatever I got. What did I get? 4.94? 4.95. And what does the answer actually come out to be? 4.87. And that's the answer. What? The red dot means that the answer is showing, and your answer, if you want to see what you answered, you hit the red tag, and it says you answered 468, or whoever did this problem answered 468. Yeah, when you see that red tab right there, that means that the answer that you see is the correct answer. Capiche? So how many milliliters of hydrogen are in that scoop of water? Almost 5 milliliters is dang old hydrogen. Dang old gas. Y'all feel good about yourselves? So you don't have to put smokestacks on your truck. Alright, next one. Dadgum. What happened to my... Okay, people, what happened to it? It just disappeared. Oh, gosh. Hold on. Gotta log back on to dinkydoo.edu. Sorry about that. I think I had one left. 11.167 slash 29. 11.167 slash 29. This is a test question. And yes, you need to do it by, you don't need a calculator for this. Blow it up, Dana, if you can, please. I'll read it out. And that's about all you can do, just move it over a little bit. It says, a woman purchased a car for $5,000. She decided to sell the car for 20% more of what she paid for it. You know, you don't do that in your head. $3,000. Okay? I'm sorry. 5,000 would be 500, 500, yeah. Be 6,000. I'm sorry, I thought it was 3,000. All right, she could not sell the car, so she reduced it by reducing the asking price by 20%. If she sells the car at the reduced price, will she have a profit or a loss? Most people would say what? What would most people say? Go ahead and spit it out, because that's what y'all are thinking. Break even. Nope. Unless the numbers come out that way, it does. But a lot of people say, well, she added 20%, she took off 20%, then it's... No. Yeah, that's not... You're taking 20% of two different numbers. So how much is she asking for it when she buys it? Well, let's talk about it. What's 10% of $5,000? Huh? 500. So what would 20% be? 1,000. So she's asking what? 6,000. All right, you got that part at least, right? So we'll put 6,000 down for. She leaves it sitting out there. I'm gonna make me $1,000. So she puts it out on the road, and she just sits it out there for a couple of weeks, and then a couple of more weeks, and finally she decides what? This ain't happening. So she takes off 20% of 6,000. Well, what is 10% of 6,000? And 20% would be, so take 1,200 off of 6,000, and what would you get? I hope, yeah. 4,800, right? Well, she paid what? So she's going to lose how much? 200 bucks. Y'all smart. And we feel good about ourselves. You can't take 20% of one number and then just take it off the other number and say, okay, that's equal. Can't do that. Nothing's that easy. And that is a test question. Now let's look at some test questions. Y'all ready? Y'all might want to write some of these down because I'm very well known for just copying and pasting. Oh, what are you talking about? Nothing. So let's take a look at this first test. Preview. Well, I don't want to preview. Well, it may not let me. Hold on a second, people. I'm fixing something for y'all. Well, I thought I was going to change. There it is. Yeah. I switched something so we could look at it and be easier on y'all. There we go. All right, preview. What is Hubert's email address and cell phone? Well, this is an old test. So it has my old cell phone number, but what would you think the answer is? Why? Would you believe I get people who get this wrong? Pretty sad, isn't it? Where did you get that information? Handouts. Good job. 10 to 11 questions of your test will come from the handouts. I know, I'm faster. There we go. There's one of my favorite questions right there. Read it, blow it up a little bit, please. And I would write it down, ad lib. You don't have to write it word for word, but you'll see that one again. Anything having to do with science, planets, astronomy, it will be a scientific notation problem. Mass of a planet A is approximately blah, 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 and the mass of planet B is blah, 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 blah. How many times greater is the mass of planet A than the mass of planet B? Let me ask you a question. If I weigh 250 pounds and somebody else weighs 125 pounds, then how much bigger am I than they are? I weigh 250. They weigh 125. How'd you get that? How'd you get twice? You divided, didn't you? That's what you're going to do here. Divide the BA number by the small number. Oh Lord. That's my school. Hello. Yeah. That was my first call. Had a little accident. He's okay. Not nothing like he broke his arm or anything. All right. So, which one's the big one? Okay, y'all don't know. Y'all don't have a clue. Huh? I'm not fussing at you, but say it one more time. Why? Got more zeros. Y'all supposed to all say that. It's got more zeros. What's greater, $9 billion or $15?
What was in the answers?
No, I'm asking which one's bigger, Planet A or Planet B?
Hey!
Because it's got more. You're on drugs. Break it down, please. So 3 times 10 to the 31st divided by 9 times 10 to the 25th. And 3 divided by 9, I don't know what that is. It's 0.33 repeating, isn't it? So 1/3. So I'm going to put 0.33. You know, you don't need a calendar for that because 1/3, everybody should know that 1/3 is 0.333333. Times 10 to the 31 what? Minus, because we're using the quotient rule. So 0.33 times 10 to the what? 6. Now let's see what they say. Round to the nearest what? Whole number. Well, we got to change this because this ain't. We got to move 6 places to the what? To the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how big is it? 300 and what? 30,000 times bigger. That's the dang old BA Planet. Oh, that's submit test. I can't answer that one. I got a next question. All right, there's one. Try that one. I'll draw it on the board and make it bigger. It says perform the Vanna's getting a little bit restless. 0.0009, 3 zeros, over 3,000. This is 1. Now I'll do the first part for you. 9 divided by 3 is 3. I'll do that for you. Now what do you do for the second part? What kind of quotient? What we're using the quotient rule, but what do we do? Huh? What did you say to me? No. Quotient rule does what? Subtract. So I'm going to rewrite it. Negative 4 minus positive what? 3. Or 3. And what's negative 4 minus 3? You owe somebody $4. You owe somebody $3. You owe them 7. So 3.0 times 10 to the 7. Now what does it say? It says perform the operation, write the answer what? Scientific notation. So it's telling you to write the answer in scientific notation. So if you don't, I'm not going to give you credit because are they telling you what to do? Yes. And you just can't follow what? SA directions. And they'll hide them from you. I mean, they won't hide them from you, but you'll overlook them. So what I would suggest you do is take you a highlighter. Don't write on the screen, but just, I'm not even going to say it. Somebody will take offense to it. So we get 3.0 times shift 8, 10, shift 6, dang old negative 7. Next question. All right, you ready? We're going to do this in our head. What's negative 8 and a minus 6? You owe somebody $8, you owe somebody $6. What's the outcome? Negative 14. And what's 18? You owe 14, you have 18. What's the outcome? You have 4. Oh my gosh. When is the last day of class for this semester? Which answer do you think it is? What possible answer could it be?
Well, it could be B.
No. It's not a date. I said, when is the last day of class? You know it's not C or D because that's not a day.
That's Judgment Day. That's a day.
I'm looking for a day of the week. Days of the week. I didn't say date, did I? There you go. It's the only possible answer. You don't understand what I'm talking about, do you?
Is the answer B?
Yeah.
I said B.
I thought you said D. I thought you were trying to be funny. I'm sorry. A lot of people say, why wasn't it A? 2001 was like 12, 15 years ago. Whatever year it is. Why wasn't it this? Judgment Day. It's supposed to be judgment. Oh well. Judgment. I'm not going to do that one because we done did a couple of those. I'm not going to try and find some ones that you haven't done. All right, -2. You owe 2, you have 7. You have 5. Where is all of Hubert's homework and tests done? What is 8? You have 8 and you owe 2. All right, let's go with 5 over what? Thank you, one person in the class. If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, one test, like the Unit 1 test, several forms of it, how is it counted? That's what I heard. Huh? He calls you a loser and fails you. Yep. A or B? B. All right, let's try this one. I'll let y'all blow it up a little bit, Vanna, please. I gave you a break, okay? You know, turns the letters on. I don't even like that show. My show is Jeopardy. I take Jeopardy. And I play trivia crack. I play it like hours upon. I love trivia games. Yeah, I don't care nothing about them. All right, got to get a common denominator. If you have to, you need to pull up your least common multiple problems. That's what you're to find your common denominator. All right, what number will go into 5 and 25? 125. 5. So put your handy dandy 5 right here. Oops, sorry, I messed up. Let me try that again. I don't know where 14 came from. 5, and that'll give us a 5, and what? 25. And then 5 again will give us a 1 and a 5. Real math stops, but we don't care about that number. And then 5 again, give us a 1. and a 1. So 125 is our answer. And I'm just being lazy, I guess. There we go. So 125. So we take our handy dandy and we put 125 there. And 125 there. And we take our handy dandy line maker and we put a line here. And a line there. Dang old minus. Alright. How many times will 25 go into 125? 5 times? So 5 times 125. 5 times 21 is 105. So that dang old 105 goes right there. And then 23 goes right there. It doesn't change. And what's 105 minus 23? How much? I didn't hear you. 82. I heard 42, and that was a mumble. 82 over dang old 125. Dang old tell you what. So you put that in there. What time's class over? Because this looks like me 2 minutes, but y'all are like packing up, and I'm like, don't understand. $82 over 125. All right, y'all can handle that one. Does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with your final exam? What's the only possible answer? No way, no how. That one is a order of operations. Negative 15 times negative 3 is what? 45 divided by negative 15 is what? Negative 3. There's another, what kind of question is this? You might want to write it down. Or just write down population scientific notation and find it in your homework. Population scientific notation. Prime factorization of 824. When does the homework terminate? That's the only possible what? You'd be surprised how many people get about 5 of these wrong. No, it's called human nature. Those people should not procreate. When is the week of finals? What is the only possible answer? Okay, yours would say what? May? May something. I'll do that. And there is a sentence question. What percent of 72 is 18? Which branch did I serve in? I don't know. Why does Hubert not give extra credit, extra points, or drop any grade to the final week of the semester? Because he is mean and he doesn't like me. Because he wants me to fail and live in a ditch. Because he gives me these type questions on tests and he drops the lowest 2 unit test grade. My head hurts. C. Another adding fractions and another scientific notation. All right, now listen up. I'm going to say this and I'm going to keep it on the video where y'all can listen to it. I've just went over your review and your test. So anytime I go over a review and I show you the test, that means that test is going to be posted in the next couple of days. So chances are this test will be posted probably Monday. And that means your homework will probably cut off what time? Midnight, Sunday night. 11:59. Good job. All right, y'all get out of here. Have a good day. Did I call the roll?
We already know.
Go ahead. I'll just say everybody was here today.